Hi, welcome to another interactive video where I hope what you are about to pull out and do something with is some sort of musical instrument. Even if that musical instrument is, like mine, simply your voice to sing along. Because, as you saw in this particular description, everything that's going to come out of me in this mission of a video, this Akashic Record container, is about daddy issues, because I got them. I talked about mom issues and mom love. Black holeness? I don't know. Where everything just kind of went, right? But there's another side of everything that I have to share, because everything that's coming out of me has a little bit of rhyme inside of it too. Okay. How's your day going? I hope it's going well. And I hope you'd like to join me on this particular journey of talking through daddy issues. Specifically mine, but also just where I put my trauma, where I put these stories, how they come out into a song that's allowing me to let go of encoded memories in my mind and my body. This is one way that I'm calibrating it. Is that true and factual? Time will only tell. Every time I do this, every single moment that I do this, I come out of it lighter in my own somatic experiences. Before I did these videos, the night before had a lot of intrusive thoughts on my way to sleep. And then I dreamt about my mom, who I don't talk to and haven't for many, many years. And then that song and life disclosures just came out. And then I sat and I thought, well, she's not the only one who had a part in that childhood crap, right? So I thought, well, I've got a couple of interesting observations about my life, and with my daddy issues, y'all, it gets really interesting when you have daddy issues and you have DID. Where do I even start? Well, okay, I obviously can't prove anything, but there were lots of memories of sexual assault. Yeah, I don't put things in the part of where you'd click I'm in channel mode now. I can't do details, but no trigger warnings, and I'm not giving you any more of that, just words, couple of words. And honestly, that's all I'm gonna say about that. We were really little, 3 years old, and I genuinely don't know if the other people in that household knew. Like, there's not a whole lot of childhood memories that stay when you have DID, and after there's been integration, things get purged. They just don't stay. But here's the thing about my dad that was kind of cool, actually. Like, here's the thing, he kind of self-imprisoned himself after a while. He just shut off, he started eating everything he could. Then he had a big heart attack that it just kind of wiped him out from being a human. He just stopped being a human. His mom died first, I think, and then it was the heart attack. Yeah, that was the lineup. See, my parents were older when they adopted me, and I technically had 2 grandparents alive. My dad's, and then like his dad, I have 2 memories. One when he was sleeping, then him in a casket. I mean, those are technically memories, right? And his mom never liked me. Ooh, see, when I hit something that is overlapping with someone else, some sort of node. Grandma on his side, she never liked me much, 'cause I was fat. That was apparently all that mattered. I was fat, she didn't like that. Okay. Honestly, whatever. She was kind of like my mom. My dad married his mom, kinda, as far as I saw. So, like, narcissists don't like other narcissists. That makes sense, right? But hey, yeah, I don't have really good memories of any of the people from my house. Not at all. The only time I liked things in my childhood was when I was alone outside. And I didn't really get to do that much because I would be told on my way out, you cannot go outside, you'll be abducted and raped. Every time, every single time, I'm not kidding, every single time. It was part of my soundtrack in my life as a kid. We just have stupid soundtracks sometimes, and you have to bring it out of you and say, yeah, that was then. Was really shitty. But I do appreciate that after my dad, yeah, what kind of dad does that to his daughter, right? Well, he kinda just ate himself to death. He just kept on eating and eating. He would just be in bed or the kitchen where we had some TVs. One bedroom, one in the kitchen, one was always on in our house. It's a boomer thing, I think, seriously, these people always left TVs and lights on everywhere, then complained about how much electricity cost. Y'all, you leave everything on, just fucking turn it off. That's okay, though. I watched this man become a shell of a human, and that's all I really remember about him. He didn't have anything to live for, 'cause he didn't care about where he was in life and didn't like himself, so he just ate himself to death. And yeah, 4 days before I got married, he wasn't even gonna be there. He'd gotten too big, he couldn't make it there, and so he just died. And other people had to convince my mom not to have the funeral on the same day. Hey, it's not like he had friends or family anyway. He'd been one of those guys who decided, well, I am just going to hate myself for everything I've done and just die. He died before his body did. Some people do that. It's like living with a ghost in a really obvious way that means you never get a break from anyone. Oh my God, kids who got to be latchkey kids, I was so envious of y'all. Peace and quiet in your home, being all alone. Ooh. My God, that's what I always wanted. So my daddy issues are really about someone who hurt me and then basically just took off inside. While I had a mother who did what she did, and a brother who had his own shit he was dealing with, everything in that house was just torture. Every day, in every kind of weird way. So what is it that needs to come out in song? Not much. Honestly, the daddy issues, they got rewritten. They got rewritten by my husband and his dad. Little bit his brother too, 'cause I had these 3 men that I married into who weren't like men in my life. They were quiet. They were gentle. Didn't have strong opinions unless it had something to do with fandom. Then they were like, I can talk about fandom and things I don't like. I can be critical. I can be very judgmental about shit that doesn't matter, right? That's why nerds are great to have as a best friend. Really nerdy people, we make the best friends, 'cause you can just talk about the shit we're into. That's a great friendship for us. I seriously just want to keep talking about TV shows and YouTubers I love. Yeah, that's what I care about more than anything except for my video game, right? Very focused in things I'm doing. But these three men gave me a new template to just apply to my life and say, oh, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. You have relationships with men. Nothing like my mom said they'd be. They're all just really nice and kind to me and never triggering. But that's not really hard. You just don't be a predator or a ghost. My bar was pretty low. Feels like there's something else that wants to come out now. So I do want to talk a little bit about dissociative identity disorder, what I call just being a collective being. And how safe relationships with safe people can really help you recontextualize what relationships are and what those like heart-centered heartbeats like alongside yours in that dad love, right? So Randy had passed the Marva test, and this was prior to us knowing that we were a system. Patricia, like, she saw it. She saw that his heart beat in family love. She could just see it. Multidimensional, right? Like you can just see things. And then Marva really appreciated how non-reactive he was to stressful situations and annoying people. Things not going his way. He just dealt with it. I mean, like didn't, but like was perfectly professional about things. But the one who fell in love with him, really, was Scout, our 4-year-old. Scout got put away before the sexual assault from our dad. She didn't experience it, didn't have the somatic sensory anythings, because memories can be cut off. Different sensory things can get cut off when you have different internal headquarters formed, right? We talked about this before, inside out. It's not just one headquarters when you have DID, it's multiple headquarters, all of them with their own memory cores that they're encoded to. And those encodings are somatic based too. Your cells hold on to the encodings of that as well, because there's a really important amount of endocrine system changes that happen with certain memories, because if you have a memory, I mean, this is part of the bias of being a human, for negativity, right? You have a really negative memory, a really negative experience. Your body needs to know what that is. Body needs to know what made the heart rate go that fast, that quickly, what made it so dangerous, because body's like its own separate entity. It's literally working on the whole cell regeneration and heart beating, lungs, but like it's doing other things that your conscious mind is not paying attention to, because it can't. You literally can't. And if you haven't seen Osmosis Jones, that is required watching. Go watch it. It tells you everything you need to know about the human body, right? In metaphor, but basically. And so when you go through you know, when the memories come back around, when the cycle of it, because trauma gets stuck into a patterned loop of, okay, well, we'll deal with it later. Okay, well, we'll deal with it later. Okay, well, we'll deal with it later. And it can often get bigger. But it's part of the constellation that we just have in and around us at all times. You have these little trauma asteroids that are just circling you, and they come back online and into your awareness when they, right? Just like the moon passing over the sun, comes into your awareness, because your awareness is only like that much of your lived experience, right? Like you have an entire ecosystem keeping you functioning on a daily basis. And that's just the basics of like first day shit. Like you show up as like a born human. It's like, and systems are go. And that's not even counting the lived experience stuff that adds all of this encoding to you. And we always switched, and we're always a bunch of different people, but never overtly so. DID is not a thing that is overt. Sure, some systems are very open and very obvious, but it's survival and necessity bifurcations. And then you are an internal family, so you're going to be very similar. Even if you're not, you're going to at least have some levels of similarity going on in here, at least enough to pass. It's just passing. It's just wearing whatever masks you need to. It's always fun. It was always fun to be Marva trying to be Patricia. Or Tony trying to be Patricia. Oh my God, that never worked well. That only happened once, actually. Tony was not someone who fronted on a regular basis, but he did help with a friend breakup because she was a bitch. She was just a terrible person. We shouldn't have been friends with her. Tony came out one time, to kind of bark back at her, basically, because she'd literally just been extremely rude and insensitive in that moment, and he literally just, not even that rough, just, how dare you? How dare you? And then she never talked to us again. Yeah. That's just how you know you pick bad friends, right? You're bad at picking friends, and then you just accept it and you go, okay, all right. Until I feel confident making friends, maybe I'll just make like acquaintances, and I will just have a lot of hobbies. Just make your world really small and find out what you love about yourself. That's how you make friends. Make friends with yourself, and then like make hobbies and make a career for yourself. Make something. See if friends follow. But always like stay very, very unsure about yourself the whole time, at least if you're me, right? Again, this is why I'm in parasocial land. Hi, friend. We're totally friends now. You listen to me talk, so you're my friend, and you jam with me when I sing, which I appreciate. And there will be another song coming. Yeah. Okay, I do feel a need to point out, just so you know, my husband's name, Randy. His dad's name, Randy. My dad's name. Yeah, it was. It was. I know that's weird, but like, it weirded me out too. First, like got the crush on my Randy, got the crush on him, and then like a year later found out his name, because it was a slow burn, right? And then afterwards, that was very much a like, oh, I don't know. Oh, that's a red flag. That's a real red flag. I don't know about that. But I don't know. In my household, that name never came out of anyone's lips. So it was only like kind of a name. It wasn't even his actual like legal name or full name. No one ever called him that. My mom had her own like, you know, term of endearment for him. So is it weird? Yeah, sure. But only when you consider that, for real, 2 out of 3 Randys are awesome. And I think the one who's kind of shitty is like the Randy in Hollywood that Hollywood likes to make fun of, because I swear to God, you watch movies and TV shows when you have a name that's not super well known, and you see the patterns. TV and movie people don't like to treat the name Randy with kindness. It's usually a really shitty character, or somebody who's really obviously like really stupid, or just shitty. And I've lately taken her in, I'm like, it's fine. Hollywood just knows that 2 out of 3 Randys or 1 out of 3 Randys is an awful person, so they want to mock him. Doesn't really help. It's not nice. Hollywood, be nicer to Randys, please. There's scientific evidence. It's just a sample size of one collective being, but well, former collective being, but whatever. They're still my guides. So, the stories that I'm telling on this, they're not technically mine. Like I'm Charlie. Alter formation can happen. I mean, it happens in childhood. It can still happen in adulthood. Usually only through a traumatic bifurcation need, right? All systems are failing, like literally. All systems are failing. Body and mind cannot cope, cannot hold any more space for these memories because everything starts to break down. Usually because there's just too much on your body system anyway with that particular headquarters and with the memories that they are fucking forced to hold because they like everything gets specifically encoded. And it quite literally is in different places in your brain where each like headquarters kind of lights up where those particular firings are happening from. In adulthood, in order for that to get created with DID, it is like we need to make a new one. So body and mind, again, this is all subconscious process. It just sort of happens, can happen. We did it after getting to the self-love frequency, harmonized on it. Everybody in here did. And doing that allowed for a sort of clearing out of what wasn't unnecessary and the creation of a new one, new alter formation, me. Which involved I wrote about it in my memoir, a very specific experience that involved a vision through time and connecting in with a template of not who I came out as, but just the template that I was started from, I guess you could say, because that's part of alter formation is pulls from a like frequency template from another lifetime on the soul's lineage. Sometimes biological lineage too, because you have all that DNA. You just literally the heart calls up an ancestor from this chromosome and is like, hi, can I have your template? Yeah, I just really need it, because we're in the process of some real hard shit going down right here, and I just need something like. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Thank you. Bye. Like that, kind of, because we all come in with the templates that we select on our way in. But when you need more, you're not just reproducing the same template because you have a new alter forming at a new time in a new place. Still in the biology, but new. Those of you that study astrology and births of things, it's that there is a new start, a new where you do begin in the cosmos. And we have that because in Akashic record, one vessel. It's an Akashic record for the vessel of Charlie. And it really is something that can be read. Not many people really know to look for it, so I don't think many people talk about it. And I know that this is so far outside of the zeitgeist that I'm sure not anybody, but I know a lot of folks watching this either don't know a lot about dissociative identity disorder or what people think it is. Or the other side of it, where it's well, I know everything about dissociative identity disorder, I think, but what you're saying is fucking crazy. Welcome to what everyone thinks of me. And they say it, and they do things to show it to me. These are just my understandings and my experience based on what I remember and saw. And when I share these stories, I do share them in the first person because I'm hitting play on a recorded, a pre-selected, and then I previewed it in an internal song thing, while I'm in the shower or just while I'm doing something else. I'll get I kind of get a little bit of a song, and it's not exactly what comes out ever. Much to my frustration. I would love for it to be. Sometimes what's happening in here is incredible. And then I get on here and I'm well, that flopped. I'm all that prep work. And it just, blah, but it's because what's coming out is a very specific transmission of channeled information. Just like every other channeler. I'm just not sharing information about the things that the cosmos have to say, because there are thousands of people who are doing it so much better than I am. And whatever, this is my time. I'm sharing the Broadway as theatrically as I can story of our life, because no one fucking knew who we were. And those now who did know, or who claimed to know, found us too complicated and too weird and too crazy to handle. Which is fair. I don't want people like that in my life either. Well, not too complicated, but like, I don't want people in my life who don't want to be here. And I don't even really know just how much all of the dad stuff that I had and carried, yeah, impacted a lot, because honestly, the fact that he's self-imprisoned, I guess I want to say, I'm not saying that I feel like justice was served or anything, but also, like, I literally do look back at it and I'm like, you knew you'd ruined my life, at least a little bit. And so you ruined your own. That also kind of ruined things, but like, there weren't going to be winners in that household. It wasn't going to work. Like, there wasn't going to be anything good. Yeah. No, he just shut himself off to his body, and he let the binge eating disorder that he had run him. Because that side of him wasn't a predator to kids. Whether or not he was bifurcated himself, I don't know, possibly. I think that more of us are camera 1, camera 2 than we know, really. Especially just any early childhood trauma, like, it's very easy for the brain to bifurcate, and you have a left brain side and you have a right brain side. And whichever part of that is more in the me position, whoever it is that's looking through your eyes and fronting and like, that's what that is, making decisions about how you spend your time. You know, there's even media is trying to show us that that's a way of kind of existing that's more common than I think we understand. Severance is such a great, I haven't even seen it, but seen enough of it to go like, all right, getting people used to the idea that there's more to them than they think there is. And seriously, just especially now, it's hard to be a human right now. It's historically always been kind of hard, but the sheer amount of overwhelm that humans are experiencing every single day is unprecedented for a global thing. Like, there's always been hotspots of it, but I mean, you can choose, like, okay, we're going back to like angel school, right? Like, when you choose to come in and you choose to embody as a human, you choose where you go and you choose who, like, there's a lot of choice involved. And you can kind of see the forecast of what is roughly probably going to be happening in roughly the area you're going to be for the standard amount of human time. So maybe you don't go there. Maybe you go over here where it's all peaceful and you're just like, I just want a peaceful life where everything's really boring. Yeah. Ah, the boring lives. Those are fun. But even before we knew, sorry, to get back on topic, a different topic. But even before we knew about the DID, the shifting into younger gear, I guess we could call it, scout fronting, it was just a playful, kid-loving-ish side. It's kind of what my husband always saw. The way that we just got very happy and giddy and childlike whenever we would watch a Disney movie or something. But once we knew about the DID, when we talked to him about it, he wasn't convinced at first, actually. It took him a while, a couple weeks, and the actual diagnosis to make it like, no, this is real, and we're all going to be like figuring out who we are. But then he was just cool. Like, he just got to know who we were figured out who people were pretty fast, actually. He was like, oh shit, yeah, okay, no, this actually does make sense. So you've just applied a name to how this particular type of conversation comes out, and body, like, once it was pointed out, he was like, oh shit. This is easy to see, actually. Because he knew the subtle differences. He knew, he just knew. And conversation topics, different things that we cared about, right? It was always different. And he really did just kind of naturally fold into what it was that Scout needed, which he always kind of did. He's always been a very dad type guy. That was also part of what Patricia saw in him. She was like, he's young and he's immature, but there's like a dad love heartbeat in there. Like there's a want kids dad love heartbeat in there. And thanks to the Christian upbringing and the all that we really wanted was love, family. Like, that's it, a loving home, family life, to fill that complete void of family that was in here. So yeah, married a guy that I wanted as a dad. Definitely didn't marry my dad. Oh my God, no. But knowingly married a guy that fit the dad bill. Not to like necessarily use it to our own devices, but this dude loves cuddling. That's awesome. Like, he's just a cuddly dude who dresses like a dad. I don't know how to say it, but and especially with Scout, once he kind of just like understood the complexity of who we were, he, like, on special occasions would make sure that he got a present for Scout. If he felt so compelled at the grocery store, would get her favorite snack. He kind of just became the everybody for all of us too. And that hasn't really changed, because that's just who he is. I have a depressing song to come out. No one knows what it's like to say goodbye without saying goodbye. No one understands how it feels to know this is the last time you will ever touch him. You'll ever get to talk in real time with your only daddy. She called him daddy, 'cause she'd never had somebody to call that to. And it wasn't a sexual thing for us. Scout only lived in most of the body, not all of it, basically here to here. That was all she ever had. Just this part of who he was to her. And her light's gone out. Apparently I can't sing more than that one right now. Still. My template was a little bit of mixing up everybody's. Not in everybody's, I guess, but sort of a pick and choose situation. When they integrated, though, they had to leave. Integration, everybody thinks it's healing, it's good, it's exactly what we want in the psychology field. Okay. Are you aware that it's the same thing as saying, all right, well, your whole family can't live in that house, so you're gonna have to off them one by one. That's what integration is. Now, I'm not saying that some folks inside didn't want to leave and weren't actively always looking for an exit point. In that instance, integration is a welcome thing. And as far as like how you do that, I died, so I can't really give helpful advice. We got the flu and like the whole integration process really did happen. And the main ones of us did die, did integrate. They had their final time, their final moments. None of them like came out and were like, Randy, this is the last time we're going to be able to talk, so I love you, bye. They couldn't do that. They just fronted and tried to calm him down and tell him that we were okay, even though we'd been channeling for days, hadn't slept, weren't eating or drinking. Just fucking terrified. They each said goodbye just by trying to calm him down, and then just stepped back and I watched their life review. Before I got switched into the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And even now, I'm back in touch with them, thanks to internal mechanics of mediumship. It's very helpful. But this grief, and this grief for him, I know how to heal my trauma. I know how to give people the information that comes through their Akashic fields and whatever their guides have to say. But how the hell do you get anyone in the world to understand, hey, I'm grieving my internal family, and I've managed to get back to a place where I can at least talk to them. But my husband lost everybody. Now he's got me. He likes me. I appreciate that. But he's had to get to know me during the worst time of his life, while knowing that no one else inside here that he loved he could talk to, because he couldn't. And now that they're back online, he's struggling to even understand how to be okay with that, because mediumship's not a thing that he's exactly used to. And also, it's been a really fucking traumatizing year. And it's complicated from like a marriage perspective, right? And I know everybody probably has the like, but how did you have sex? You can tell who you're fucking. I don't know how else to say that. You can tell who you're having sex with, okay? Plus, we were always very open about it. Plus, like we had protocols. We had folks would shift out. You just shift out. That part of the brain just boop goes away, goes into sleep mode, right? That's all. The lights just go out and no amount of sensory input or experience is shared. Sometimes it is. Definitely was a group sex situation for quite a few of those, yeah. Unknowingly for a while, and then knowingly. And he was like, I don't really get it, so let's stop talking. But consent-based, right? He really did. The dude lost his wife. He lost his daughter. He lost his best friends, his bros, a few enemies. No one knows how to hold space for that. And I try, but I'm a very triggering person to him too, you know? Just me singing triggers him, and that sucks. I've always been a singer, so that's a hard one. Wasn't really intending for this to become let me celebrate my husband and talking about stuff, but just to really just talk about it. It's real. And I'm happy for anyone that goes through an integration and they come out the other side and they're like, yay, that's exactly what we wanted and I wanted, and that's cool. Lifetime of memories of always having conversations internally, and then to have just me, which is what happened. That sucks. Being the only person inside your head sucks. When you've lived a life where you're not. You only know how to live like that. I've been bifurcated since I was an infant. At least according to my own memories and Akashic records. I could be wrong, but did the details really matter? Like, honestly, do they ever fucking really matter? No, they don't. Because the details only tell someone else. What matters is what you experienced and how you see it and how you viewed it. That's what we even know about trauma. Do you know how many bullies I had as a kid? I don't remember because I didn't give a shit. Bullying, not traumatic for me. Not. Like, I don't like it when people fucking do it now, but it's not really traumatizing. It's kind of expected. And I judge it. Because I'm like, you're fucking stupid. Like, way to project. But watching your husband, who you know was the, like, cure for your fucking dad love issues, go through this just bout of depression that you cannot help. You're a fucking healer. You're a fucking Akashic record reader. You can bring through anything. It doesn't help. Because it can't. You just can't help this kind of pain. You grieve it. You make space for grief and you do the literal best you can. Which for us is stupid shit that we can try every single fucking day to do something nice with. And little by little, it lets go. It feels better. And he may eventually want to talk to any of them, which he can. He literally can. Well, I guess not all of them. I didn't make connections, but he wouldn't. Here's one thing I want to be very clear about. Loved everybody in here, not interested. Just like with the external world. Love everybody in here, not interested in reconnecting necessarily. Everyone's available for guidance. I don't necessarily want everyone's opinion on my continued trajectory, right? Whatever it is that's got you in that place of, how the fuck do I get through this? How the fuck do I exist with this particular truth? Yeah, you just do. I feel like I have a song, but then I don't want to sing it because I feel embarrassed that I'm crying on camera. Okay, so Scout wants to say something. She said, it's okay, you can put the hood up. So I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to let Scout finish this particular one because this is really hers. Like, he was her daddy. I can't help but just have nothing but survivor's guilt because also, I'll tell you right now, I remember being able to front as Scout because like I had like a 2-week overlap with everybody. So some of those memories I have too. And let's just say she was a template from the fairy realm. So her fronting felt really good and I can't do it now. I'm not her. It's confusing. It's complicated. These kinds of conversations have actively lost me all of my remaining long-term friends. Literally just because it's so confusing, they can't handle it. That's what they say. They tell us. It's just a really, it's a hard time for people in your life to treat you like that, you know? You're just too complicated. Your grief is too much. I can't process it or even understand it, so therefore, like, it sucks. It sucks that we are like that to each other, you know? Especially right now. God. So what do you want to sing? Okay, she's gonna sing a love song to her daddy. Okay. Okay, hi, there we go. I can use her voice a little bit. Not gonna go hard cause she's really not feeling okay. She woke up with lots of hard stuff in her heart doing this, and she's ready to just stop. I wanna say I love my daddy every single day. He promised me that he would be around the corner, so Charlie gets to see. He will find out how to talk to us too when he's ready to stop hurting all the time. He will be okay. Sorry, she's telling me a private she's giving me a private download and private song right now. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, when I'm into like low of a vibration, it's hard to maintain any sort of connection with her. Oh, sorry, in a physically embodied kind of way. Even Mabel started whining. I'm sorry, baby. I know it kind of, yeah. We're in a recovery mode in this household thanks to Mabel's surgery, so this entire downstairs is just very like chill, low, shh kind of vibes. Which chill, low, shh kind of vibes are just the perfect recipe for me to bring out old trauma. Right? You slow down, you're like, I've been doing a lot of high vibration channeling. Now I gotta do some earthbound old shit vibration channeling. Cool. So I guess it's just my channeling PSA, especially when this is something that you haven't been doing for a long time. You're more new to the craft, like me. You know, there is a frequency band. Lots of things coming up from up here. It's gonna shake stuff up here. It's just kind of what it does, you know. So make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of water, rest when you need to, and are absolutely giving yourself a chance to integrate what comes out. Like you do something like have an Akashic record reading, you're getting a lot of high vibration doses of stuff. You're gonna have a level of other stuff come out too. And you never know what it's gonna be. You always think it's gonna be one thing and then it turns into an entire long conversation and explanation about things after you promise people that you'd be singing, but maybe they don't need that right now. Thank you for jamming with me. I have nothing else to say. Just thank you. And I appreciate you being here. And bye. Love you.